Back in the early days of video games, paying for a game was simple. You went to the store, you dropped $60, and you owned the game. You played the game, you beat the game, that was that. Now it's a whole new ballgame. Between subscription fees, premium shops, paid expansions, it feels like we're spending more money than ever on video games. So, do microtransactions ruin video games? Let's take a quick history lesson for a second. The first home console video game to release was something similar to Pong. It was called the Magnavox Odyssey, and it set you back $100 in 1972, which, doesn't seem bad for a whole console that came with the ability to play a few games. The console itself was really simple. It projected 3 square dots in one long line, and it came with extra pieces so you could customize your experience and play the different 12 games, because home consoles sucked back in the day because, technology. Stupid. I don't know why I'm calling this thing stupid. It was the first home console and it deserves a lot of credit. That was really the only way to buy games before the internet. You went to the store, you bought them, you went home, and that's it. That was the only option. This worked for the video game market when video games first became popular. And it's even one of the most common ways to buy games today, especially for games that aren't constantly updating. You pay $60 or sometimes $70 and you get to play the game. This is another question that people bring up all the time that could possibly be its own video, is should games stay $60? Is it okay that we're seeing a lot of the popular games hiking their standard price up to $70? I've been paying $60 for games my entire life. When I started playing video games, the Super Nintendo was popular. These games typically were around $40 to $60 depending on the game, but 30 years later, we're still paying the same price. Before we debate too much about the price of video games, I want to take a minute to thank today's sponsor, Factor. Make meals stress-free with Factor. You get ready-to-eat fresh, never-frozen meals delivered right to your door. Every meal is chef-crafted and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. Dinner that quick is a blessing. That's almost as fast as traveling to one island when villager hunting. You can make dinner while searching for that impossible-to-find dreamy. That's the true dream. Food and villager hunting. What more could you want? Every week, Factor offers 35 different meal options, including options like Calorie Smart, Keto, Protein Plus, Vegan, and Vegetarian meals. So there's something for everyone. There are also over 60 add-ons every week, like breakfast, quick lunches, snacks, and beverages to keep you fueled all day long. I will always recommend the smoothies. They are phenomenal. I cannot get enough of them, and no, I am not sick of saying it every time I do this ad. Factor also has gourmet meals if you're looking to treat yourself. There are options that have premium ingredients like filet, shrimp, truffle butter, and asparagus. You're gonna be eating like a king. Sign up for Factor today. Get 50% off your first Factor box and 20% off your next month of orders using my link. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code with your phone. Now that we've paid some bills, let's get back to if games should be more expensive than they have ever been in our entire lives. You could argue that creating games is a more easily accessible skill now than it was back in the 80s or 90s. Personal computers aren't as absurdly expensive, and you can learn how to develop a game from a few YouTube videos. Again, it's not that game development is easy by any means, but technology has advanced drastically. The entire video game creation process is considerably different and more efficient, way more efficient, than it was 20 years ago. So wouldn't that make games cheaper if it utilizes less labor? The problem is we aren't making side-scrolling pixel art games anymore with 5 different sounds that we use throughout the entire game. Now the top games are all huge 3D open-world masterpieces that require years of development time and hundreds of humans getting their hands dirty. If we're going on inflation alone, games should be around $130 now, over double the price that we're paying today. But I'm not an econ expert, I have no idea what should happen. If a game is good and the devs feel like they need the extra $10 to make that game great, then I'm all for it, unless I'm paying $70 for this. Then I'm upset. I personally would rather pay for games outright over other monetization models. Maybe it's just the one that I'm most used to though. I like knowing how much I'm going to spend on a purchase. It makes it easier to budget the amount of ramen I can afford. There's no impulse purchasing situation. You look up the game, watch someone play it, become an informed consumer, and then drop your money on what is hopefully a good time. And that's it, you have the game. Unless you have it digitally and they decide to just take the game off of Steam and then you don't have it anymore. Get your games physical if you can. On top of paying for the game outright, a lot of companies throw a DLC or expansion pack for you to buy with extra content. The key word here is extra content. Mechanics that existed in the previous installment are not extra content in the next installment, game companies. We've definitely seen an increase in games pretending that DLC includes new additional features, when in reality it's just features that would have been included with the base game in the past. You know that burger meme that went around forever ago? God, it still hits too close to home. We see The Sims do this a lot. On top of buying the game, you could also purchase pretty much anything cool that EA thought of. They never put it in the original game, it was always an expansion pack. Instead, they charge extra for the content, though recently the base game of Sims 4 is free to play, almost 10 years later, but it's fine, so the expansions don't hit your wallet quite as hard. A better example of a good DLC, Happy Home Paradise. This expansion is basically its own game, almost completely separate from the main Animal Crossing game. There's a whole main story where you're the interior design expert for villagers' vacation homes. You design their homes, and then after you do enough, you celebrate with DJKK. Which means that you've completed the main story by opening businesses and decorating houses. This DLC ties back to the main game by giving you an additional store to buy furniture so you can collect the new items more quickly, but they also provide you with a couple of exclusive features, like partial walls and making stuff shiny. It's nothing crazy, but it's a little treat as a thank you for supporting the game. Now, monthly subscription fees. I hate these. Everything from the program I'm writing the script in, to the tea that I drink, to the entertainment I consume, hell, even the software I'm using to record this voice, hello, and edit the video. All of it is subscription based. Not to mention the normal monthly fees like the electricity, water, heat, rent, student loans that I'm gonna be paying off until I'm 40. I feel like I'm paying thousands of dollars I don't have every month on things I need, which makes me really hate dropping money on something I want. We all work hard, we gotta treat ourselves sometimes, but subscriptions are rarely the thing I pursue. It just feels like another bill. But I get why they exist. Games like WoW are always being updated with new expansions, new quests, there's always new stuff. And they gotta keep the servers running somehow. Since their servers are most likely a monthly expense, it makes sense that we would also pay them monthly to keep the game running. But is that a good model for players? I'm happy to say that I've never paid a monthly fee for a game. I can't guarantee that I have $15 to pay next month. What if my car breaks down, or eggs shoot back up to $10 a dozen? I'd be heartbroken to not play my new addiction because I can't afford the sub fee for next month. Which brings us to our final way to spend all of your money, free-to-play games. But free-to-play doesn't cost money, Cora. Listen, I spent more money on free-to-play games in their premium shops than, any game, ever. Cute new Palia outfit drops? You bet I'm instantly adding funds to my account. I like supporting games that I spend a lot of time playing and enjoying. The premium shop makes it so I can pay when I want to, whenever I have the available funds. I can buy what I want, and I'm not forced into spending money. If my paycheck was a little lower this month, no big deal. I can keep watering my crops in Paleo while I wait for another video to take off, so I can buy the next cute thing. There are some ways I do feel a little pressured to spend money in these free-to-play games, and this is where battle passes come in. These are limited time events that give you a bunch of different rewards as you progress through the game and level up your battle pass. Most of the time, you have to complete quests or timed events that gain you XP. The catch is, you have to spend money to be able to participate in the past, but usually they are worth your while if you like a few of the items that the battle passes offer. They're pretty cheap. You're getting a bundle of skins for a quarter of the price. It's a great way to get people to come back and play every day, since the battle pass tends to expire after a specific length of time, whether it's a month or 3 months or whatever. Once your time is up, the battle pass and everything it offers is gone forever. This feature really relies on FOMO. Maybe that month the pass contains one really nice skin or coffee cup that you really want to decorate your locker with even though you barely play the game anymore. Better log on and start leveling up so you can get that virtual item before it's gone forever. There are 2 positives to battle passes. 1, you get a lot of stuff for not that much money. If you just want skins but don't care what those skins are, this is a great way to fill up your inventory. And 2, it makes you want to play the game. I love me some Fall Guys, but sometimes there really isn't too much incentive to just play constantly, except for the battle pass. The pass carries the game so hard. You can even get free stuff as you play too. You don't have to drop money on the battle pass unless you want the pretty skins. The free stuff is just little trinkets compared to the behemoth of something like a SpongeBob costume. But eventually you'll get burned out from playing the same game over and over just to get a pretty little outfit. Battle passes hold my attention for about a month or two, and then I'm just moving on to the next game. Okay, I'm gonna talk crap for a second about a game that I personally think is charging us too much money for things and almost touches every type of monetization model that exists. And I'm sorry if you like it, bear with me for a second, I have my reasons, but I'm about to talk about Disney Dreamlight Valley. Before I rant, it's okay if you enjoy the way DDV is doing things. I know a bunch of people that really like the game and don't care about spending money on it. But personally, this game rubs me the wrong way because it's just not meant for me. I don't enjoy myself when I spend time running around my valley. But me disliking the game does fuel the fire as to why I think they are doing stuff wrong. And I think even the people who enjoy the game are like, yeah, maybe this could be better. I was an early adopter and purchased DDV before the early access was even available to play. It seemed like a game I was going to love. I dropped $30 on the cheapest bundle that came with $30 worth of moonstones, which is the in-game currency that you spend real money on, and some exclusive furniture for being an early player. It seemed like a worthwhile purchase even if the game would be free within a year. The only way you could play the game at that time was to spend the money. Alright, now for some of the features. There is a battle pass that you can purchase with your moonstones. I gave into a couple of these. Sometimes they had a very well designed pet or clothes or something that just caught my eye. And way too many motifs that I absolutely want nothing to do with. The battle pass does have more moonstones for you to earn though, so that expensive pass becomes incredibly affordable if you go through the effort of leveling up with the dozens of extremely tedious quests. Also, these quests that you have to complete to unlock the Battle Pass rewards tend to repeat often, so not only are they tedious, but they're the same quest over and over again. You're either mining for a specific gem, fishing for a specific fish, or like cooking food. There's little room to expand these quests to other tasks because, well, there's really not that many tasks available for you to do in the game. Eventually, Gameloft released a premium shop. I wasn't upset about this, I get it, an eventual free-to-play game needs to make money, but the people who they released the premium shop to were those of us who already bought the game. And the stuff they charged for, I personally didn't think was worth it. The $5 for a lame umbrella isn't what I want to spend my hard-earned money on. I did, however, buy the cottage. It's cute, I love it, I hated the default house, so this was a nice upgrade. And I had moonstones left over after buying my battle passes. Mostly because there was a glitch and I somehow ended up with double the amount I was supposed to have, but just don't tell them. The only way you could play the game at that point was to pay money. And while I felt like I got my moonstones worth out of the money that I had spent, it felt a little scummy to release a premium shop to the people who paid for the game. Imagine if Animal Crossing had a premium shop tied to it after paying $60. It would seem pretty rude. Want to say other words, but we'll say rude. Scummy? It felt like they were trying to squeeze more money out of the people who were already generous enough to be squeezed. But they heard our pleas and they came out with Dream Snaps, where you can decorate an area, take a picture, and then players vote on which decoration they like the best. The higher your picture ranked, you would be rewarded with a lot of moonstones. This solved the issue of the scummy premium shop for me. At least there was a way for you to earn the currency without having to outright buy the moonstones in-game that you already paid for. How many times can I reiterate that? And then Gameloft said, just kidding, this game isn't going to be free anymore. Also, you're gonna have to buy the expansion to get new characters. Oh, also, if you want this really cool Wally costume, you have to buy this quest line. Now, all of a sudden, I'm paying for content in a game I already paid for, and I know the argument that I got the moonstones for my $30. Sure, I get it. But the only way to play the game is to pay for the moonstones. And now the devs are throwing in every monetization model into this game, minus a monthly subscription. With the amount of content appearing behind a paywall, it might as well be a subscription model. I had such high hopes for this game. I was expecting a ton of free with a little premium shop on the side to support the game. And that's not what this became at all. Personally, it's no longer worth it for me to spend my time in. Gameloft went a little too ham on the monetization. It stopped feeling like a game and started feeling like a cash grab on our nostalgia. Implementing one of these models is the way to go. Someone will always be upset, but at least it won't feel like our wallets are being gouged out of our back pockets. There really isn't one ideal monetization model. There are multiple ways that games can choose to charge for their hard work. Deciding which one fits the game the best is important. There's never a perfect solution, but there is an acceptable one. As much as I was talking about how I don't play Fall Guys except for the Battle Pass, they do their monetization really well. You can play for free if you want and get the most out of the game, or you can buy stuff straight up from the premium store, or give yourself something to work towards with the Battle Pass. Palia also does their monetization well. Quick disclaimer, I'm a Palia partner, which means I get early access to some of the features of the game sometimes, but I am not paid, but I do like how they charge for their items. Like Fall Guys, they only charge for cosmetics, never for new content. And the things that they're charging for, you can tell the designers put a lot of effort into them. They're animated, they're cute, some even have particle effects. You can tell that a lot of time was spent creating this masterpiece. Probably going a little overboard with the word masterpiece, but you get what I mean. Sure, a few of the items might be a little expensive, but with the amount of work that is put into some of these outfits and a completely free game that gets updates frequently, dropping money on the outfits is worth it to me. Maybe not to you, and that's okay. I'm glad games like Fortnite came out and changed the way that gaming companies are charging for their years of hard work. If not for them, we probably wouldn't have any free-to-play games at our disposal. I'm excited to see what comes next in the gaming space. I doubt anything will disrupt the industry the way Fortnite did, but you never know. Oh my god, I forgot to talk about gacha. Gacha's fun if you don't have to pay real money, like Zeki coins or Splatoon gacha. Gacha is not fun if you're playing Genshin Impact. That's bad gacha. How much money have you spent on Genshin? Too much, huh? How do you like to pay for games? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. Bye!